I stopped approaching women after I went on a date with this girl. Movie, dinner, drinks. I paid for everything. We went back to my crib, touched each other private parts, all on the first link. We scheduled our second date a week later at this event downtown. Day before the event, I come down with a bad fever, so I cancel. She decides to still go. I was bedridden, not in the mood to cook or anything, so I ask if she could drop me off some food. She says, no, I can't. That's girlfriend behavior. So you were cool with me whining and dining you at my expense, sleeping with me on the first date, but dropping off a plate of food that I was going to pay for is where you draw the line? The dating game all messed up. Like, if a woman isn't showing interest first, it's just not gonna happen because I need to know that you actually like me.
This woman's brownie recipe has men across the world saying that it is divorce worthy. I don't know that I see what the problem is.
My husband woke up craving chocolate brownies the other day, so I started by cutting open some cacao pods and taking out the beans. Then I wrapped them up to ferment for 8 days, during which I mixed them each day and put them in a cooler with warm water each night to help keep the fermentation going. After 8 days, they were perfectly fermented, so I laid them out in the sun until they were all dry, which took about 12 days. Next, I roasted them in the oven and then removed the shells. This part is so satisfying. And then I poured the beans into my wet grinder along with some raw sugar and let them grind for about 48 hours. At one point, I held a blow dryer on there to help release the cocoa butter from the beans, and eventually we had beautiful liquid chocolate. My husband was so excited. He said he's been craving these for 3 weeks, which is how long it took to make them. So we ate them hot out of the oven, topped with vanilla ice cream, olive oil, and flaky salt. They had the perfect texture and the perfect chocolate flavor, and I'm 100% serious, they were the best brownies we've ever had.
I mean, I've never had olive oil on brownies or ice cream or anything, but like my wife says, I'm willing to try anything twice.
I posted a video yesterday talking about how my fiance let me quit my job to stay home and pursue my own interests, and I want to talk about some of the discourse that's in the comments. Anytime a woman talks about staying home and being financially dependent on a man, there's always at least somebody that comments about like, never trust a man, work, protect yourself, he can up and leave you with nothing. If you are going into this relationship thinking that you cannot trust this person and you need to work to protect yourself from this person, that's a huge red flag. Now, if you want to work and you want to make your own money, then that's totally different. But I would not say yes to marrying somebody that I felt like I had to protect myself from. Also, this idea that he could leave me with nothing, like I didn't come into this relationship with nothing. I'm a grown woman with her bachelor's degree. I've been working since I've been 17 years old. I've rented an apartment before. I own a car. Like, I have all the skills to be a self-sufficient adult. God forbid something happened. And when you're married, the assets that you have, as long as you are both smart and put everything in both of your names, when you divorce, you have to sit down with lawyers and divide your assets. This is also a larger conversation about raising good men. Whole different topic for a different day. But society hates single women, but then when you're in a relationship, they still want you to function as a single woman.
I, 25 female, begged for an open relationship. 8 months in, he leaves me. So the original post was December 21st, 2022. 8 months ago, I asked my partner for an open relationship as I got bored with him. Nothing wrong, but just didn't excite me much. And he agreed, but he proceeded to tell me there's a catch. If he catches feelings for a partner, he's going to leave me for her. And that's exactly what happened. I want him back in my arms. He left me for his new partner, 28 to 29-ish female. What can I do to win back the love of my life? And then there's comments and updates. Relevant comments. Not gonna lie, the ultimate reverse card for this situation. Big ups for your ex. And Opie responded, really?
Really?
And then the next comment, haha, good for him. Get a therapist to help you work on yourself so you can learn to end an unhealthy relationship instead of pretending to be poly.
Yeah.
And Opie said, I've been in and out of therapy for at least a year now. Another person said, yes, really, you played yourself. He didn't excite you, so you asked for an open relationship, and now you want him back when he caught feelings for someone else while in an open relationship that you asked for in the first place. You only have yourself to blame for this one. You should stay single for a while and grow up. And OP responded, I don't want to be single. I want to prove to my boyfriend I can be better.
He's not your boyfriend.
Yep. That's ship it sailed.
Rule number 1.
Okay, so the first update from 3 days later was probably nobody asked for this, but I'm here with an update. I was kicked out of his house last Sunday. That's 6 days now, and I excruciatingly miss him. I will do anything to get him to return to me, but he looks happy on social media with his new partner that I'm pretty sure he was cheating on me with.
Cheating? You're in an open relationship. What are you talking about?
Anyways, I tried calling him, no answer. I saw him in public and he pretended not to even know who the fuck I was.
Dang.
He won't acknowledge my existence, so I went to our former place just to talk, and things got hostile. His new girlfriend hates me for some reason. I didn't even know her, and she proceeded to try and attack me while he tried to split us up and get me out the door. When he had his back turned, she maced me, and now he's trying to file a restraining order on me. The hell did I do wrong? She attacked me and pepper sprayed me. How can I convince him he's dating a psychopath? Relevant comments. Comment number 1. Why do you want someone who you're bored with? Nothing wrong, but he just didn't excite me. And then OP responded, I just wanted us to have no strings attached relationship. So when we got back together, the spark would be back. Another commenter said, you got what you wanted, and if anyone sounds like a psychopath, it's you, who's stalking their ex, seek some mental health, or do some inner reflection, but most importantly, leave this man alone and move on. OP said, stalking? I previously lived at that residence. Okay, so update number 2, which was a week later. My ex followed through with his restraining order on me. This will probably be the last update. Yeah. The restraining order has been filed, and I am not allowed within 100 feet of my ex Harry and his new girlfriend, Jess. I'm planning to move back to my home in Arizona and start over. They're happy, and I just want to find peace with myself. Thanks for everyone's advice and opinions. Yes, I was already in therapy, and I'm still in therapy. Please, anyone my age or younger, listen to my advice. TikTok is not cool. Please delete it. It's done me nothing but harm, and other people's stupidity can really poison your minds in living proof. Thank you. Take care. Commenter 1 says, to recap, you wanted an open relationship. He said yes, but he told you if he felt a connection with someone else, then he would do the right thing and break off your relationship rather than have an emotional affair. You agreed. He felt a connection with someone and realized you're insane. He was upfront with you that he wanted to end things. You blame wanting the open relationship on your ADHD because you were bored, and then try to claim he cheated on you when you're the one who wanted the open relationship. You went to his house to start a fight. When you wouldn't leave their place, she rightfully maced you to leave. You call her a psycho even though you're the one that harassed them constantly. You think he was wrong for getting a restraining order against you even though you're the aggressor. Now you're blaming TikTok for your actions? Does that sum it all up? February 13th, 2025. Ooh. A bit more than 2 years later. It's been 2 years and I've tried to stay offline and live life, but my ex and his now wife find new ways to live in my head rent-free.
She's crazy.
I wanted an open relationship. So what? You don't just string me along for 8 months, get some new girl who you met through me, and then marry her. This isn't fair. She's living in my home with someone who should be my husband, and he's been renewing the restraining order ever since it first expired. And I know he's gonna keep doing it because for reasons beyond my knowledge, that man hates me. F my life.
You know, the result of all of this is when the stars align, like everything that's happening, all of the consequences is everything is lining up. I decided I wanted to be in an open relationship. He didn't think it was a good idea. Turns out he told me up front, if you do this, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to find somebody else. And if I find somebody else, you and I are done. You decide to proceed with whatever you want to do, and then you meet with the consequences face to face. Y'all don't even shake hands. In fact, y'all hug in a warm embrace. And now, because your consequences are continuing to hug you, it's now getting uncomfortable. A big old bear hug. No, that's enough. No, it's not enough. We're going to keep on going. The consequences, please, please, please. I'm done with the hug. It's getting awkward now. Exactly. That's what I try to tell you. That's what I try to let you know. That's what I'm trying to make you believe. This is not going to go the way you want it to go. But you didn't hear me. Now consequences continues to wrap around you. Come on in here, baby girl. Let me love on you a little bit. Let me give you a little sugar. I'm going to hold on to you. Gonna hold on tight, because that's what you need. I want to prove myself to my boyfriend. You could have proved by nixing the whole idea, by never even letting it come. Oh, I'm just joking. Let's get some takeout and let that one die. But you went through with it, and now you're receiving the consequences of your actions. Couldn't be better. Then, instead of leaving the man alone, you decide to go out in public and mess around with him. That man ignores you, acts like he doesn't know you, and you're still not taking the hint. And then his girlfriend says, I'm gonna do something to you that he can't. Come on, get some of this. Come on, open your mouth wide. Come on, get some and open your eyes wide and get some of this. Y'all need to learn to listen. Take rejection gracefully. You can show him that you're doing better by moving on and finding somebody else.
I just read the Vogue opinion piece on Is Having a Boyfriend Right Now Embarrassing? I thought it was pretty interesting. The article describes women that are embarrassed to post about their boyfriends or embarrassed to talk about their boyfriends because of this pervasive idea of heterofatalism, right? Heterofatalism or heteropessimism being this idea that because the institutions of patriarchy and capitalism are so entrenched and so unmovable, heterosexual relationships can never be fulfilling for women. In this reticence to post about boyfriends, in this kind of fraught attitude that this article describes of these people with boyfriends that are hesitant to post about their boyfriends, I sense a desire on the part of these women to kind of sidestep the question of the material world that they belong to. The desire to retain a kind of pure or true love by avoiding the feminist onlooker's gaze. And so to all the girlies that are asking the question, can I as a straight woman experience the transformative power of love in a world where the demoralizingly ubiquitous engines of patriarchy and capitalism exist? We need to go back to the ancient text. We need to go back to Sally Rooney. I always come back to this Andrea Long Chu review of Sally Rooney's Intermezzo because I think it's just so interesting. I highly recommend that you read it. It has honestly clarified so many things about my life for me. But basically Chu is writing about how Rooney is able to describe love as something with material forces at play. We often like to think of love as a kind of abstract quantity, like a kind of magic that will overcome everything. But we do live in a world with material forces. And romantic love is not like an agape love. It is not a universal, unconditional love. It is a love for a specific person. And if it's a love for a specific person, that means it's a love for a person that exists in the material world. Chu describes how in Rooney's novels, her characters are always trying to get to the root of what is the true and pure love. There must be some kind of true and pure love at the center of all this that escapes convention, that escapes material forces. And very brilliantly, Chu compares this to a kind of commodity fetishism, right? Where we try to put an objective value on a commodity to obscure the fact that a commodity is actually a relationship between people, a dynamic relationship between people. The best example of this is in Normal People when Marion asks Connell to hit her in bed. This desire is not composed of nothing. This desire is composed of material forces. This desire is composed of Marion's own class guilt towards Connell. It's composed of her own history with domestic abuse. And Connell really doesn't want to do that because he doesn't have those same material forces working within him. Because love is, again, a dynamic social relationship between specific people. And her characters often struggle, ethically and morally, with this idea, particularly Peter in Intermezzo in her most recent novel. But the reality of the situation and the convention that forms these characters, the convention that forms all of us, always kind of bubbles to the surface. Okay, so what does this have to do with the girls that are not wanting to post their boyfriends on TikTok? I think I'm speaking pseudo-metaphorically here because obviously how you behave on TikTok is not the whole of how you act in your relationship. But I sense in the girls that are afraid to post their boyfriends on TikTok this idea that if you are able to retain privacy in your relationship, if you're able to escape the gaze and the impacts of the world, you might be able to succeed in your relationship. If you're able to kind of remove yourself from these broader conversations of how heterosexuality, how heterosexual patriarchy impacts your own relationship, you might be able to flourish. The issue is that, as Sally Rooney points out, as Andrea Long Chu points out, you cannot sidestep these conversations. This is not to say that you should accept traditional gender roles, you should accept trad gender roles in your relationship. This is just to say that we all come from this world. We all come from the institutions and the mores that form this world. And thus we are shaped by this world. It's not true that if you love each other hard enough and purely enough, the conventions of the world and the institutions of the world will just disappear. These questions have to be wrestled with, and you don't do yourself any favors by recusing yourself from that conversation. Again, I'm speaking pseudo-metaphorically here, so this is not to say that you need to be posting about your boyfriend. This is to say that I'm interested in the psychology of what makes someone so anxious about posting their boyfriend that it makes them totally avoid posting their boyfriend. It's in this anxiety that I sense someone that is really anxious about heterosexual patriarchy's place in our intimate lives. And again, to that I say, go read some Sally Rooney. It'll be okay.
I think I speak for a vast majority of men when I say sometimes y'all just talk to be talking. Sometimes modern women just say stuff just to be saying it. They don't really have anything that neat. They don't have anything that really needs to be said. They just want to be part of the conversation, right? And if that takes making stuff up and pulling stuff out of your behind multiple times a week, then so be it. We're going to talk. We're going to yap. We're going to say things that we know good and well don't make any sense. We're going to say things that, upon playback, we know it had nothing to do with what's actually happening. We know we're the problem. But instead, we're just going to keep on talking because everybody else is talking. It just, at some point in time, I think for some of these modern women, it might be good to just sit back, relax, and listen.
I want a provider husband is a statement you do not say out loud. You don't say that out loud to the person that you're dating. Hear me out. When you're first introduced to someone, or like y'all are not dating yet, y'all are not even like really acquaintances yet, and you're already asking for money, you're a homeless person. That's what homeless people do. I'm sorry. That is what homeless people do, is they see you and they don't know you and they put their hand out and ask you for money. So when you're dating and you hardly know a guy and you're already going on and on and on about like, you need a provider man, you want, or like, that's so weird. And I never had that I feel like, and hear me out, we're gonna address this. Real women, not real women, but women with the real standard of like provider husband, and men who are providers, there never needs to be a conversation between the two. Like, me and my boyfriend never sat down and were like, that. Like, you know, like, I feel like if you have to have the conversation, then it's not gonna, it's not it. It's not it. Like, you shouldn't have to convince or like tell your story on why you want that, or try to convince someone that they need to be that for you. It's like, you are if you are, and you're not if you're not. Yeah.
I need your feedback on a text I just got from a man. First, know that I love to laugh. I love a man with a sense of humor, and I always commit to the bit. And whether you're actually funny or not, I will always laugh. I'm on your side, okay? So, if I make a joke, you have to laugh too. It's a two-way street, okay? You have to laugh at my jokes. I have a date set for next week, and he is texting me this morning about how he has to make it a little later, and is that okay? So I use this as a moment of like levity to make a silly joke, and this is my response. I giggled. I thought it was funny. And guess what he wrote back? Okay. Does that mean he doesn't have a sense of humor? Or does it just mean he was busy at work? Or, I mean, I hope he at least giggled to himself, right? I thought it was funny.
If your boyfriend is taking you to chain restaurants, then oh my god, he does not love you. If he's fucking taking you to Olive Garden, get out of there. I will not tolerate a man that plays video games. Have you seen video games? Have you seen the female characters? If your boyfriend is your soulmate, he should know exactly what you want, what you're thinking, what you're going to think. If he doesn't, if you ever buy your boyfriend anything, that's fucked up. He shouldn't be letting you do that. Has your boyfriend asked you to be his pumpkin yet? It's almost Halloween. Like, are you his pumpkin? Has he made you a boo basket? Dude, like, if you weren't your boyfriend's first girlfriend, that's crazy. If you haven't gotten flowers in the past 2 weeks, he does not love your ass.
Sorry to be defending men on here, because I would really hate for that to be my legacy, but something that literally drives me insane is when I see a girl on here filming a TikTok with her normal ass boyfriend, and God forbid his body language is a little off because he's probably camera shy. And here y'all go in the comments, he hates you, girl, run, he hates your guts, he doesn't care if you live or die. He's probably camera shy, he probably feels awkward because he's not used to being on camera. Are people not allowed to be awkward anymore? Is that a crime? Is that a crime? It's actually so mean because he's probably just some dude, literally some dude from like Kansas who moved to New York and started dating an influencer. Like, he's just some dude. He probably has a private Instagram account. You expect him to be going mug for mug with his girlfriend on camera? Like, no, he's literally just a dude. Like, I've dated guys like this. Like, I usually date just very normal guys who have normal jobs. Like, they're not on camera all the time. And it's kind of sweet because, you know, they like don't like that shit. But I'm over here like, get in the camera. And their girlfriend's probably doing the same thing. So they want to appease their girlfriend. It doesn't mean they hate their girlfriend. Like, being in front of a camera is a very weird thing. Actually, it's very unnatural. I'm an actor and I model. I've been doing this for years and it's still kind of awkward. Like, it's just a weird thing to be doing. So I don't know. I think it's so mean to take these normal people that aren't used to being in front of the camera and judging their relationship off of that. Like, I promise you, if he actually hates his girlfriend, that is not the litmus test you're going to figure that out by. Like, I don't know. Not everyone wants to be a social media influencer, you guys. Let's be normal. Please, let's be normal.
Misandry isn't feminism, okay? Hating men isn't feminism. A little reality check here. All of your accomplishments are actually more impressive because you were able to sustain a healthy relationship. In fact, I think the conditioning society and the patriarchy has done to us women is so telling when we can't even look at another woman's accomplishments and achievements and deem them as her own or see value in them because she had a boyfriend or she's married. So therefore, all of her accomplishments and her value are somehow a reflection of a man. Yeah, okay.
What's crazy is that you could give a guy constructive criticism on how you would prefer to be treated or how he could be treating you better to your liking, right? And because he's a man, he will also have one whipped up ready to go. Like it's a game of tit for tat, okay? Except his is like when a fucking toddler critiques your driving. No offense. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm out to dinner with this guy a few months ago and something fell off. Something felt different. And so I communicate that to him. I verbalize, hey, is something okay? Things just feel off, a little bit different. He's like, no, everything's fine. We keep talking and finally it comes out. And it comes out that it had nothing to do with me. And I was just making it up in my head, right? And so I told him, I was like, hey, just for future reference, like I would prefer if you communicated these things to me because what that did was send my nervous system into a state of anxiety and like, you don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. You know what I'm saying? So just communicate that with me. Communication is very important. He's like, absolutely. Okay. I also have one. I was like, okay, shoot. He's like, remember when we went to dinner a couple weeks ago? I was like, yeah, of course. You're so memorable. Of course. How could I forget? He's like, well, after dinner, you got yourself a piece of gum and you didn't offer me any. I was like, seriously, when is it? He's like, no, that's it. It really bothered me. I was like, oh my God, of course. Yeah, I could definitely offer you a piece of gum next time. Just a question. Do you also want me to ask the waitress to get you crayons and a coloring book?
This is why he doesn't talk to you about anything. And this is why you guys keep on getting disrespected, right? The guy mentioned to you, and this is how modern women, they're just dunce sometimes. Just stupid. I would say just maybe not you as a person, but like your thought process is just idiotic. The man asked you for gum. I think somebody in the comments said, but then again, back to that communication thing, if you'd like a piece of gum, just ask for one. Or you could be considerate of the man, just like you want the man to be considerate of you. And whenever you go to get some gum, you can say, hey, do you want a piece of gum? You could do that. Seems pretty easy. You're talking about communication. Talking about thinking about others, talking about when he's out, to be considerate of you. Hey, just stop on the side of the road and pick me out some flowers. One side of the highway would be good. Go to the store, pick me out something, a little treat, a little snack to let me know that you were thinking of me. And all you got to do is pick up the container of gum. You pull you one out, you pull him one out, and you give it to him. Want some gum? Before you put it back in the console. That seems pretty easy, I would say. But instead, you're over here making fun of him like an idiot. Straight up. Just dumb. Number one. Number two, modern women are chronic overthinkers. Chronic overthinkers. This had nothing to do with you. It came out that it had nothing to do with, well, just communicate that to me. What do you want me to say? I was dealing with it. You decided. What probably went on is she said, hey, is everything okay? Yeah. Are you sure? Seems like everything is off between us. No? We're good. Are you sure? Because I feel like there's something going on between us. Like maybe your energy is different. No, I mean, I don't feel anything is off between us. I think we're good. I gotta be honest. I just feel like, maybe you're kind of distant from me. Oh no, something happened at work. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Some. Oh, okay. I for some reason I thought it was about me. No, it was something about work. Well, communicate to me next time that it was about work. I said it wasn't about you. You're the one who kept it going. That's the part that modern women in the comments and you are not getting. Well, my nervous system, that sounds like a you problem. That's something that you have to deal with. That's something that you need to get in check. And once again, y'all be talking about y'all be going to therapy and doing the inner work. No, you don't. This once again proves to us that modern women just lie all over the place. Lying. Oh, I did the inner work. No, you didn't. There's an insecurity there. There's an ability. I don't even know that's an ability. A propensity. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Maybe not. To overthink, to continue to fixate and focus on something that doesn't actually matter. And then put that problem on the man when the man is walking around, minding his own business, living his best life. Or maybe, depending on when it is, his worst life. And you want that man to tell you each and everything, and he's not going to. He doesn't have to. He doesn't need to. It's not necessary for being in a relationship. I mean, you don't want to just sit up there and be a hardened criminal that doesn't give out secrets. But you don't need to tell the person, oh, I'm going to take a crap. Oh, I'm going to go use the restroom now. Oh, I think I'm going to scratch my toe. No. He didn't really do anything wrong here at all. And then we say, well, is there anything that you want to say or anything that you want to bring up? Well, I mean, a couple of weeks ago when we went out, you didn't offer me any gum. That really bothered me. Oh, do you want me to do it? Hey, how about stop acting stupid? And so it's my bad. Yeah, I just felt like, I would have liked somebody. It's not really about the gum. It's more about like being considerate. You know what I mean? And this leads to a broader point of what men go through in relationships, where you can take that and blow that up to almost quite literally everything in a relationship. I think one of these things was a man was like, hey, do you mind bringing me some food from the event? I mean, we just slept together. Do you mind bringing me some food from the event? No, I don't want to do that. And then a woman, just a stupid thought process in the comments said something to the effect of, oh, what she's trying to tell you is y'all not locked in like that. That's the problem. If we just got through doing what we did, I made dinner for her breakfast or whatever it is, and then I just asked her because I'm not feeling well to bring me something that I'm willing to pay for, and she's like, that's too much trouble. I'm not going to do it. Inconsiderate. And you're going to want a man to protect you, make sure you get home. So if we're not locked in like that, then I need to go ahead, knock this down, and send you on back out to the street if that's what you're telling me. If that's what you're telling me. Y'all don't want to go down that road. That's what we keep on saying. Y'all keep on making rules and regulations and stipulations about things, and y'all don't want to go down that road. Y'all keep on making fun of men, and if a man turns back and starts throwing them out there, if he starts giving you back what you gave him, then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem. Y'all little feelings get too hurt too fast. Y'all are too sensitive. I'm telling you, y'all need to take it easy.
I've talked to a lot of men. I have brothers who work in the tech industry, and I've been a men's dating coach. So ladies, when I tell you this information that I've learned about men, it has awakened so much in my head of how men think, okay? And it would save us a lot of trouble to understand this. If you do not fit the idea of who their wife is, not impossible, but the likelihood of them fully wanting to commit to you and marry you are way less likely. When a man meets a woman that is his dream girl or just completely enchants him, there's like a fire that gets lit in this man's soul, and he gets like this hunting energy of, I have to have this woman, this could be it, and like, holy shit, I'm obsessed. Like, they get obsessed. And the woman that they are obsessed with has so much power and honestly cannot do anything wrong. So if you're worried that like you didn't text the right thing, or you gave him the ick, or like you didn't wear the right outfit on the date. Like that shit does not matter at all to a man when he really likes a woman. A man will steal the moon for the woman that he sees as his ideal woman. I know for me, I have this visual of who my husband is in my head, and anytime I've met a man that kind of fits that archetype, I become so obsessed with them. And all the other guys that like, yeah, I'm attracted to, they're cute. It's like I'm okay with dating them, I'm okay with seeing where it goes, making out if you're sexually attracted to them, whatever. But the two guys that have looked like how I think my husband look, I turned into a crazy person. I was like so obsessed with them. I like was in love. That's how men feel too. Like when you look like their ideal woman and like have the archetype energy of who they picture their wife being, they will be so completely and utterly obsessed with you, and you will not have to wonder if they are into you, okay? Like I was just at this party and the guy was talking about how he felt when he first met this woman, and they've been together for like 7 years. And he was like, I just was like enamored with her. Like I was like, holy shit, like I have to have this woman. And then this other guy was telling me about how he felt when he first fell in love. And he said he met this girl at a party. They talked for like 3 minutes and he was like, oh my gosh, like I have to have this woman. And she was in a relationship. And so he kept pursuing her. And then she got out of the relationship and he was like hopping on and was like doing everything he could to be with this woman. And he said that he was just like completely enamored and enchanted with her. Like, whoa. And it just made me think, I'm like, that's how men feel when they are all in on a woman. My little brother had dated like 2 blonde women that were stunningly gorgeous, like looked like Margot Robbie. And he was just like, oh, I don't know. And he broke up with them. And then this girl that looks like, he's like, this is how I see my wife. That man, I've never seen, he was having panic attacks going on dates with her. He was like, he stopped talking to every single girl before they were even official. He was like, I don't care. Like he had the hottest girls literally asking him to coffee. He worked at a gym. He said the girls would flirt with him, whatever. My brother is like he does look like a prince. And he was like, I don't care. Like I want this one. And he just went all in. And so this is just the biggest reminder, because I'm feeling reminded by this now. It's like when you are a man's dream girl, when you look like their wife, when they see you as their wife, they will just be like, whoom, laser focused on you. They will not give a shit about anyone else, and you will feel it. You will feel it and you will know it. Another example is there's this guy. He approached me when I first moved to LA. I wasn't interested and I was living away, and he's like, I'll fly you out. I just feel like we have really good energy. I was like, no. I moved to LA. Every single month, this man is trying to ask me out on a date and get together, and I'm not entertaining it. This guy he's hot as fuck. He's tall, he's muscular, he has good style. He has a multi-million-dollar company. He owns a multi-million-dollar house in Venice. He travels all the time in like the bougiest of places. And he's known as like this Venice fuckboy is what I found out through the T app. And I found out everything he was telling me, he was telling to like 15 other girls, and was known for just hooking up with these girls and then never talking to them. Quite literally like the Venice fuckboy. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God I didn't engage with that. But it made me think, because when he was so persistent and consistent and saying we had good energy and planning these dates, I did start to romanticize him. And I did start thinking, do I fit into his lifestyle? Like, this guy's so bougie, he's so wealthy, he travels all the time. Like, why is he interested in me? Like, I don't know. When you look at their following, it does say a lot, because he followed like 18-year-old girls when he was like 35. And he was entertaining these like kind of young girl posts that seem like they're like just out of high school, so they're like just like immature posts. But then he was also following these like very elegant gowns, jewelry, designer traveling models as well. Like everyone in between, he was following them and liking and engaging in their stuff. And I was like, oh, so this guy, if he just thinks someone's hot, he just wants to hook up. He'll hook up with anything and anyone. And I'm like, there's going to be a day when a woman walks into a life, like a guy that has literally all of it, money, attraction, wealth, charisma, good family, good travel, like he has it all. They get their pickings with every woman, and they just get to hook up with whoever they want, whenever they want. And I'm like, the one woman that would make him like, make his heart go like, oh my gosh, wait, I think I'm falling for someone, is the woman will have to like, one, kind of fit into his lifestyle, fit the aesthetic of like his dream woman. Like if this guy, right, is going to all different types of girls,
and it's more just for fun, the woman that's gonna get his attention is someone that he can't get right away. Is someone who seems so elevated and someone who fits like who he sees his wife being. Someone who doesn't like let him have it all the way, right? Where he's like, whoa, wait, she's not like the other girls. Like, she seems different. Like, and she fits my lifestyle. And like, she's not going to be impressed by the normal things that I have. He'll settle down with someone that like kind of maybe feels like home, fits his lifestyle, and also isn't as impressed and like he's put on a pedestal. It depends. Every single guy's going to be different, right? Some guys are going to be over the like model look, and they're going to just want someone really natural and homely, and that's what they're going to be looking for. My best friend, my best guy friend, he's been with this girl on and off, but he keeps going back to her. He's like, she just looks like my wife. Like, she just looks like the person I've always envisioned myself marrying. So seriously, if you do not look like, or at least feel like, the woman that they see themselves marrying, like if they're playing games with you, if they're not buying you flowers, if they're not complimenting you, if they're not texting you, if they're not wanting to see you, if they're not interested in your life, they do not want you. If they make any sexual joke, if they like aren't treating you with care and respect, they don't like you. They want to fuck you. They want to have a little fun. They want to get an ego boost. They want to entertain someone who's attractive. Are they going to want to commit to you? No. A man who sees you as a potential wife is going to have so much fucking respect for you. They're going to respect your time. They're not going to fuck it up. They're going to want to take you on nice dates. They're not going to want to do anything that risks the potential of losing you. If you look, like, think about it. If a man's going to marry a woman and he sees like this potential in her, he wants to kind of feel like he has to step up to the plate. He wants to kind of feel like he can't fuck up. He wants someone who's gonna like challenge him and have boundaries and have standards and like call out behaviors that aren't good. So ladies, never like just go, oh, okay, it's fine. Okay, this, okay, that, because I like you. Okay, I'll let it slide. No, I want you to be like, this is how I feel. That like you need to call the shit out. You need to be like, hey, this isn't okay with me. And they're gonna be like, what? If they like you and they see you as wife potential, they're going to be like, whoa, okay, shit, I can't fuck around with her. I'm going to show up and I'm better not fuck it up. And if I do, she's going to tell me or she's going to walk. They need to feel that from you. Because if you're just like, oh, they just kind of, or they'll just keep fucking up. Like a guy who sees you as his wife and is like, gonna pursue, you're going to feel it in every fiber of your being. That man is going to be obsessed with you, and you better feel like when he looks at you that he's like looking at you with googly eyes. Like, you know, when you like they're gonna start putting you on a pedestal. They're gonna be like, oh my god, like you're gonna see it in their eyes, you're gonna feel it from them, that they're kind of getting this like enchanted energy from you. Okay, that's how you have to feel. You have to feel, and you deserve to feel that way. And if you are not feeling that way, and that's what you want, that's what you want to feel, do not settle. Do not let yourself settle for less, okay? You are deserving of that kind of love, and it is out there for you. You just have to believe that you can have it, and you need to walk away faster from the guys that do not give you that energy, and you'll feel it.
So a guy here in the comments says, I will say this is true, and I felt that and did that for a girl was 100%, that I was 100% set on marrying. She then said she was never in love, told me any guy would do for her the things I did, then just walked out on a 3-year relationship. Extremely hard coming back from that when you're 100% was told that it was bare minimum. So basically, I'm doing all I can and you're telling me it was bare minimum. Another guy says, all men hearing this message, never outwardly tell said woman how fully invested you are into her. You must keep her chasing or the illusion of being the prize, because women only date up. Hypergamy is inherently in female nature. If she feels like she already has you, her interest starts to fade and eventually disappear. Another guy says she told no lies. Another guy says, never listen to a woman about dating advice. If she really has to talk to a lot of men and she understands the man's perspective, that's what she would have said. I don't know anything. Fair. Another guy says here, truth. Never try to be a people pleaser with a man you're dating. He won't respect it Just be you and genuine. Don't take BS. Be assertive, but not aggressive. That's a good one. I like that one, actually. Most men, and this is, men show this in other parts of dating, right? I don't want you to be fake. I don't want you to be a people pleaser. That's why they say I would rather you, be natural looking. I don't want a lot of makeup. I don't want a lot of extensions, hair, natural, and all that other stuff. I like you to, be yourself. I want to know who I'm looking at, right? But a lot of times, modern women have this idea in their head of what they want to do, how they want to date, and usually, unfortunately for them, it doesn't line up with what actually needs to happen.
I say this all the time, but if you had a black mama like I had a black mama.
So you're talking about black mothers. Ooh, this is my favorite topic. Uh, Black mothers actually do not teach their daughters to be wives. They teach them to be men. They teach them to be husbands. They raise their daughters to be husbands and they raise their sons to be wives. Why? It's sick. I don't know why they do it, but if you had to break down the science behind it and the behaviors behind it, it would be because most likely this woman probably was with a man and is due to poverty. So due to poverty, she probably was with a man who probably was a bum. So he couldn't afford to take care of his family. Or she was probably with a man who could not provide as well. Or she could have been with a man and life could have happened. So in the Black community, we deal with so many different systematic oppressions. So she could have had a man who either left her, died, or went to jail. And these affect the way that she can raise her children. So she ends up raising her daughters to be independent and she pushes education because what she's really doing is she's actually grooming you to be the husband, her husband specifically. She wants you to go out and get the education and go further and do what you wish the father or her man would have did to provide. So she pushes her daughters to be the provider because she knows that you can, and it's a larger part of misogyny. It's women's misogyny. And she pushes you to get education so you can come back and take care of her and the family. She's grooming you to be her future husband. And the reason that you are unable to find a husband or that you're not taught to get a husband is because she doesn't want you to get a husband. She wants you to be her husband. So she makes you, and she turns you into a husband instead of teaching you to attract a husband. So now you are a man. You're her man. And you're going to go get your education. You're going to come back and you're going to help her pay the bills. You're going to help her around the house. You're going to help her with the rest of the kids. You're going to help her financially, mentally, spiritually, everything. You're going to do all that for her because that's what she groomed you for. And why? I find that a lot of mothers do this because they are punishing their children for the sins of the father. So because they gave birth to this man's child and he doesn't provide or he left or anything, they look at the child who looks like the father and says, well, you got to pay your way. You gotta pay, like somebody owe me something. They're not gonna go to the man who actually impregnated them and left them. They're gonna go to the children and say, you owe me. You need to give me what your father was supposed to give me. So they punish you and turn you into your father and to the man that they wish that your father was. And then when you look at what they do to the boys is they turn them into wives. They get them to be feminine and think that someone's supposed to take care, women are supposed to take care of you and do for you. So they groom the men to be bums. And it doesn't make sense because when you look in the Black community, there's so many men who just don't strive or don't go for anything. And it's mostly because their mothers told them they didn't have to. And they do this and they become bums. And that's the opposite of what a husband is. A husband is a provider. He is from an early, if you look at other cultures from an early age, they learn how to take care of a household by the age of 7. By 7, the boys know how to take care of the family. They know how to make money. They have learned a trade of some sort, or they've gone to work with the father and they figured out how to make money. They pretty much can take care of the house. If anything were to happen to the father, they could take on the responsibilities and roles of father by age 12 or 13. However, in the Black community, the boys are not groomed to be men and they're allowed to act like women and girls until they're in their 30s. So they never become men. And if you were grooming your son to be a father, the first thing you would teach him is to go out and figure out how to provide, because a woman has needs and children cost money. So the first thing he needs to do is figure out how to make money. But you see a lot of these mothers have a bunch of bums. So the reason that mothers do not teach you to be a wife or teach their sons to be husbands is because they're deliberately teaching you the opposite so that you never attract a husband or a wife. So then you become 32, 42, 52, 62, and you have no spouse. So what are you going to do? You're going to go back, you're going to go to the person who you think loves you, who you think had your best interest at heart, your mother. And you're going to give her everything that you accumulated in life, thinking that she had your back this whole time. The whole time she sabotaged you and deliberately made you a husband instead of a wife, or with the son, made him into a wife instead of a husband. All because if you actually go out here and get a wife, who's going to take care of me? And with the daughters, if you actually go out here and get a husband and start your own family, who's going to take care of me? So it's all selfish, diabolical, and unfortunate. And it happens a lot in the Black community, which is why we can't date properly, we can't get together. A mother who cares for her daughter is always going to be preparing her daughter for when she's not around in the future. Same with her son. So if a mother is not preparing you for dating, marriage, she does not care about your future. Not saying that you have to get married, like that's a given, but that's a role that most people play. Marriage is not everything. Like it's not your entire world. It's a title and a role that you're going to have one day. Just is one little fraction of your life. But to be whole rounded and full, you're going to need all of those fractions. You're going to need the entire pieces to the pie. So for her to deliberately cut that piece out, it really it really destroys the entire pie. And it's on purpose. It's deliberate because most likely she probably couldn't navigate dating, or she couldn't keep a husband or a man. So if she knew she couldn't keep anybody around, the best thing she could do is manipulate her children into being independent and then bringing the money back to her. And with the sons is, if no woman will ever have you, you'll always come home to mama. It's a diabolical, systematic, like other cultures groom their children at early ages to get married because they know it's necessary. And in some cases, it's mandatory for survival, with blending assets and merging families and being able to multiply. Like it's mandatory to get married. And the crazy thing is, with the boomers, it was mandatory for them. A lot of boomers have been married at least once. Did it last? No. But most of them have been married. And then you look at the generation after them, the Xers and the millennials, some of them have not been married at all. And as you have to question and ask, well, what is that gap? Because when you get to the boomers and up, everybody's been married. But when you get to the Xers and down, no one's really getting married. They're having children, but they're not really building families and getting married. And it makes you think, well, why is that? Because your elders, a marriage requires the entire family. It requires everybody, the mother, the father, the grandmother, the grandfather, the great grandmother, the great grandfather, the uncles, and everybody contributes to a marriage. And we're just not doing that anymore. It takes everybody. And now I'm going to insert a clip from Sister Act 2, which is giving an example of what I'm saying. Because basically in Sister Act 2, she wanted, Lauren Hill's character, she wanted to sing. And her mother manipulated her, abused her authority, and told her that she was not allowed to sing, that she had to go to school and get an education and pay bills and put food on the table. And as a child in school, why is that her responsibility? It's not. It's the mother's responsibility. But because she chose, basically she dates bums. She dated a man who didn't have resources and couldn't take care of her and her family. And then he died. So what you're seeing is her mother saying, you have to take on the role of your father now. So you have to go to school and get an education so you can help me. Because whose bills is she paying? She's a child. She can go figure things out. She has time to do all those things. She's saying, I need you to go to school and get an education because I need you to come go get some money and help me. She's grooming her to be her husband because that girl is going to be broken because she didn't get to live her dreams. She's going to be broken because she wasn't raised by a feminine mother. She's going to be broken because she doesn't know how to be a wife. And all that's going to do is she's going to go out here and live life and she's going to end up right back on her mother's doorstep. And that's what